Hello and welcome to another 10 Good Minutes here at Solstice Mobile. My name is Henry Yola. I'm a technical architect here at Solstice, and today I have with me...
Max, I'm a senior developer at Solstice.
And today we're going to talk to you about Swift. Now, Swift is the latest programming language introduced by Apple at their latest WWDC conference. If I were to compare it to something, this is an analogy that came to mind when I first saw it. Comparing a Corolla to like a Tesla. Corolla will get you from point A to point B, and that's it, right? It's not pleasing to look at. There's nothing that you'll enjoy about riding in the Corolla, but like a Tesla, it's like it's a stylish car. You know, it'll take you from point A to point B in a very efficient and performs well. You know, so it takes care of the job, but it does it with style. You know, whereas Objective-C, it's like, I don't know. Coming from an Android standpoint, I mean, you know, most of my development experience is with Android. I look at Objective-C and it's just horrendous. I just don't like looking at it. And, you know, I have no desire to learn it.
It hurts a little bit.
Well, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, nor anyone viewing this. It's just my opinion as far as Objective-C goes compared to other programming languages that I've programmed.
No, I'm kidding. Yes, you're completely right. It's an ugly language. Lots of brackets, lots of unnecessary characters here and there. And part of the reason they came out with Swift is to make it more modern, more aesthetically pleasing, safer, faster, all these things.
So, I mean, I think the question does come up as to why Swift, why now, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, some of the reasons you just mentioned, right? It's outdated, it's super old, the syntax is not, ideal. It's not really easy to learn if you're coming from another programming language. So I would say, I mean, the main focus, and if you look at the keynote, they mentioned performance, right. And that's, I think that's probably easiest to understand, for anyone. Like you said, probably safety also is a big one. The fact that you're going to get less errors because it's more type safe. It's more modern syntax that leads you to make less errors. Right. And third, also from ease of use and aesthetics, it's just a language that's awesome to code in. You're not dealing with a lot of parentheses and really like useless stuff, right? Like what you write is just the logic itself. Right. Like you don't need to put parentheses or semicolons or things that kind of get in the way. Right. And like you said, that's going to bring in more developers. It's going to be easier for people to get into it and so on.
Yeah, and I start thinking about like enterprises, right? And the type of developers they have. And most of these enterprises, I would say, have either like web developers or have like Java developers. So I think, like, in my opinion, Apple's kind of trying to reach out to that type of developer, and it's going to make it easier for them to ramp up on this technology so much quicker than before, right? So you're going to be able to develop applications a lot quicker, native applications, and they're actually going to be cheaper to develop because of the fact of what you just touched on, right? There's a lot of things that already the language is taking care of that you don't have to worry about, like the Arc memory management, right? That is already, like, out of the gate, it's taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. Any class that you create, you just create a variable and boom.
Well, so was Objective-C, though.
Okay, so educate me that. So what would be the difference between what they're doing now with Swift versus what Objective-C is doing?
There's not much difference in memory management. It's still Arc. When they moved from, kind of manual memory management, when you allocate and release all these things, and that would cause a huge amount of errors. And when they introduced Arc, you don't need to worry about it. Right. Create an object, and then it'll just, most of the time you don't need to worry about it. And it'll, clear its own memory when it's not used anymore.
Right. So
Swift borrows that from what they did with Objective-C. It doesn't, enhance it in many ways, though.
Right. So I mean, with all the things that we've been talking about, like, do you think that Swift is something that, if I'm to jump into iOS today, should I just learn Swift, or do you think there's any value in learning Objective-C?
Absolutely. I mean, there's definitely value in learning Objective-C. You don't discount that. Now, if you're starting, I would say that, and if you're starting and want to kind of bathe in the new technology that Apple's provided, and you're not going to deal with an existing app, then I learned Swift. It's easier, it's more fun. and it's faster. However, and we both know this, is there's already a lot of apps out there. We have our clients with a lot of Objective-C apps, and so
Reality check there, right?
right, and you're gonna have to interface with a lot of old code that's all Objective-C. So it's not like you can say you don't have to learn it anymore. Yeah, you do if you want to, be a proficient developer. And they know that. Apple, they did create a lot of interface for Objective-C and Swift to kind of work together. Like they said, they're both first-class citizen at this point.
Yeah, so I guess it all depends on where you're at with your portfolio, right? If it's something that you're starting from scratch, or if it's something you have an existing, and then who are your users, right? What phones are they using, right? So I think there's a lot of factors that you have to consider before making a decision as to which route to go. But I think there's no denying that you still have to use Objective-C in some
For now,
fashion or
yeah.
another, right? So have you started programming in it?
A little bit. I mean, it's still pretty new, and there's some bugs here and there so I can't really make as much things as I want.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gonna be fixed with the new release of Xcode 6.
Right. So it's still.
But so far, it's been awesome. I mean, like we said earlier, it's a language that takes a lot of the unnecessary kind of work that goes into making basic logic. Like, part of their philosophy behind the new language is that there should be less character, less things per block of logic. If you don't need parentheses, don't have parentheses. If you don't need semicolons, don't have. Just scrap away all those unnecessary things that used to be there in Objective-C. And so it's much more fun to develop on that than archaic Objective-C.
Right. Some of the pitfalls that I think developers will run into is the fact that there's some Swift types that are not understood by Objective-C. And I think, Apple does kind of describe them already, generics is one of them. Right? Generics currently is not supported in Objective-C. Objective-C wouldn't even know what to do with that, right? Because it didn't exist. But it's a powerful feature in a programming language. That you see it today in multiple languages.
Right. But I would say that's that comes with learning any new language. You're gonna have concepts that you didn't have previously. But I think the concept that I think they've thought a lot about what they introduced, and they carried on a lot of the benefits of Objective-C, but trying to all the new concept they're introducing, they're here to make the language better.
Right.
Like generics, exactly.
Right.
And so I think because of that, it's a pleasure to learn a new language, because it's all the cool things that you're learning. It's like, oh yeah, this used to be a pain. Now it's going to be so easy to do this.
And I think all that translates to cutting costs at the end, because there's a lot of things as a developer you won't have to worry about that the framework itself will take care of, right? The programming language itself will take care of, and thus that translates to cutting costs, because now you can develop features quicker, you can anticipate bugs quicker. There's less problems you have to worry about, and all that speeds up development, and thus you don't have to rework things, you don't have to refactor things. The language is kind of guiding you the way of doing things. Optionals is another great feature that they've added, right?
Right.
And what I like about that is it does the null checks for you. You don't even have to worry about it, right? If you apply it and you use it the right way.
Right.
So to summarize it, what do you think the future of Swift is?
Let's say the only reason I would see in 10 years from now, you would have to use Objective-C is if you were to interact with existing code that was Objective-C.
Right.
And the benefit with these headers that they have is that it actually translates, your old Objective-C headers into a Swift interface. Okay. And so even if I'm a developer and I don't know Objective-C, I don't have to be able to use that header to be able to use that library.
Right.
And so because of that, I wouldn't be surprised, if here and there you see Objective-C, but I want to use Swift all the time now.
Bottom line, I think it's into everyone's best interest to move over to Swift.
And it really depends. Okay, you have to ask yourself the question, does having Objective-C support decrease the quality of the platform as a developer?
Right.
Not really. So why remove it?
Right.
So
it's something that you're gradually going to have to consider in your backlog and start bringing it in and start converting it and reaping the benefits of what the language can provide.
Right, because if, like you said, if I'm a Swift developer versus Objective-C developer, right now, obviously, a Swift developer is in a disadvantage
Right.
because they're going to have to interact with libraries that are not updated. And you have to use all of the library, not the headers.
Right.
But over time, as more, even take an example, Parse. They've already updated their interface to Swift. Like if you go on their website, you can see like, oh, Swift versus Objective-C. Okay. So over time, the Swift developer is going to be more valuable because they're going to be able to build apps faster, it's going to be safer, and all the benefits we already talked about.
Yep. Awesome. Well, there you have it. Another 10 good minutes from Solstice. I'm Henry.
I'm Max.
And thank you, and see you guys next time.